did you want to go ahead and start, Abigail?
Uh, I would like to say welcome to my presentation on the topic Introduction to Peace. So for the coming 15 minutes, we are going to have a discussion on meaning and types of peace. What does peace mean and some types of peace. So there are lesson expectation, which is at the end of this presentation. There are certain expectations from each one of you. So one thing that you are expected to tell us at the end of the presentation is just defining what does peace mean and distinguishing between internal versus external peace and negative versus positive peace, because these are part of my discussion. So you are expected to distinguish what we mean by internal peace and external peace, and as well negative and positive peace. And the second expectation, or just this session objective or outcome, is appreciation of the value of peaceful coexistence in multicultural societies, and certainly just practice respectful discussion and active listening during group interaction. So we are going to have a kind of group interaction. So you will actively engage on those things. And then I do have a brainstorming question for each one of you. When you hear the word peace, yes, what really comes to your mind? Yeah, this is for each one of you. Whenever you hear the word peace, what comes to your mind? Can you just put one word? Can you put it in one word?
Can I say?
You will just tell. No,
okay,
just jot them.
Yeah? Okay, jot down. Okay. On the message box.
Welcome. Can you tell me just one word concerning
peace of mind?
Peace as peace of mind. Anyone? Any other? Any single word regarding the word peace. What comes to your mind?
I think of calm.
Okay. Calm. That's great. Okay, yeah. Just please try to jot down as many words as possible regarding any word is equivalent with peace that comes to your mind. Then you will reflect at the end of the presentation or the session. And the second question, is peace simply the absence of war? Why or why not? Is peace simply the absence of war? What do you think?
No.
Any one of you? Kasha?
No. For example, if you have no peace of mind, that is no peace. There is war, maybe in your mind. There is war. Not only external, internally there is war in your mind. So if your mind is not good, if you are thinking about something, that no peace.
Good. Okay, that's good. Any other?
I don't think that the absence of war by itself is peace, but I think it's a complex question.
Okay. Okay, that's good. We will see why I'm asking you this type of question. That's when I go to, or when I dive to the main point of the discussion. Okay, now let me begin what we mean by peace, the meaning of peace. Okay, the term peace is used in wide spheres. It seems that peace has, a kind of variety of meaning in different contexts of usage. Different people can define peace in different ways, and different field of studies can also define what peace is in differently. For instance, peace in religion might be different from what peace is in philosophy, and what peace is in politics, and again, what peace is in military. So just to look at the highlights, how peace can be seen or understood in religion, let's take Christianity as an example. In the Christian Bible or in the Christian scriptures, specifically in the Old Testament, the word peace is equivalent or the same with the Hebrew word, which is shalom. Yes, and then shalom is just to say reconciliation with God and others, and it is a matter of having the harmony with God and the people. So, for instance, if we look at Book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24-26, God's blessing says, "The Lord lifts up his countenance upon you and gives you peace." And we can have, or you can get this statement from the Bible. And here peace means God's favor, God's protection and total well-being. And it's not about simply absence of war, but it is about having just God's favor and protection and total well-being. The same way, peace is also mentioned in the New Testament as Irene, which is the Greek word for peace or shalom. Yes, which is have the same meaning with what we have seen in the Old Testament. So the peace here is just having inner calm, confidence, freedom from fear and anxiety, assurance of God's presence, and something like that. It's possible to define what peace is in terms of religion. When it comes to philosophy, yes, philosophically, peace can also be understood as inner harmony, especially in the ancient philosophy. So it's possible to see the work of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Plato is a well-known or famous ancient Greek philosopher. So he is known with his work, The Republic, political philosophy. And then he argued that justice and therefore peace, of course, Plato tried to classify human soul, into three. Human soul is just divided into three. The first one is reason, the second is spirit, and the third one is desire. And then reason is the most rational part of human soul, which is there to think and guide. I mean, just to rule the whole body of that person. And the spirit is there to make that person courageous and to help the reason. And finally, the third one is the desire, which is there to control the rudimentary instincts, such as emotional issues, hunger, thirsty, love, and something like that. So the same way he classifies human soul into three, Plato classified the society into three too. That is the perfect guardians, the auxiliaries, and the third one is the class of peasants. Then, he tried to correspond these three classification of the society with the three classification of human soul, meaning the reason corresponds with the perfect guardian, the spirit with the class of military or auxiliary, and then the desire one corresponds with the desire. I mean, the so-called peasants or the class of producers. So he believed that everyone is born to be either the perfect guardian or the military or the class of producers. So everyone has to do his best, and there is a kind of functional specialization in his ideal state or in the republic. So he believed that when we do have that kind of society, which is classified into these three societies, we can have a just society. So when justice prevails, Plato believed that peace can exist, and that is how Plato tried to define what a peace is in his philosophy of the Republic. When it comes to the modern philosophy, yes, especially modern thinkers connect peace with political stability and social organizations, and then they argue that without strong government, human live in a state of nature was characterized by conflict. And I don't know whether you are familiar with the theory of the origin of state. There are different theories of origin of status. One of those theories is the theory of the social contract theory. And we do have a philosopher known as Thomas Hobbes. And, he believed that before the emergence of the type of modern state, there was a kind of state of nature. And in the state of nature, there was no laws, no constitution, no rule and regulation, no police force, no military forces. Everything was as it was naturally. And so that's why it says state of nature. So everybody had, a kind of absolute freedom, because you can take the resources or the property of somebody because no laws which prohibit you not to do so. And then even you can take the life of others because there is no law which prohibits you not to do those things. So because of this, what happened in the state of nature, according to Thomas Hobbes, is that there was a kind of, war of all against all. There was a kind of civil war. And finally, the fate of human society was just extinction. And so in order to preclude that kind of problem that's going to be happen to human society, what they did was that the people came together and then they decided that let's just give up. Let us give up. Let us surrender some of our rights from the absolute rights or from the absolute freedom that we have in nature, and then let us surrender these rights to the new body, which is gonna be the ruler, which is known as the Leviathan. According to Thomas Hobbes. So So Thomas Hobbes saw peace simply as the escape from the state of nature, because in the state of nature, life was, violent, life was insecure, solitary, brutish, and short. So the only way just to solve this problem is just escaping from the state of nature, and peace is nothing but peace is simply the escape from the state of nature. Was just a kind of definition given by the person regarding what we mean by peace. And then when we come to the contemporary thought concerning what we mean by peace, yes, contemporary philosophers argue that peace must include justice, that there is a matter of justice, the issue of justice, whenever we talk and think about what a peace is. And so the issue of structural violence should be solved if we want to talk about what peace is. And so injustice, inequalities, oppressions, and things related to these issues can destroy real peace. Therefore, peace requires protection of human rights, equality or realization of equality among different identities that exist in that country, and then fair institutions and the freedom from violence and exploitation and something like that is something how peace can be defined in contemporary thought. And then in politics, yes, in politics, peace is a condition which is maintained through governance and law. We know what happened in the history of the world during the First World War, Second World War, and even we know what is happening across the globe nowadays even. So, you see, when we look at how the world is structured, especially the realists believe that there is no world governance. We don't have, a kind of government, a kind of sovereign government as we have at the national level, because international system is characterized as anarchic system, a system where there is no supreme organ to lead, to do everything. So that is why the First World War happened, then that it was devastating type of war. And then they came together and to just form an international institution or organization which is known as League of Nations. And one of the aim of League of Nations was to prevent future conflicts or future war between the nations, but it was unsuccessful because League of Nations was a kind of toothless dog, and the Second World War happened. And then again, after such a devastating or catastrophic war of the Second World War, then they again came together, and then they formed or established the so-called United Nations organizations in 1945. And then after 1945, we do have just United Nations organization as one of the global governance. So under this global institution, just we do have a concept of peace building, which involves democratization in different parts of the globe, and respect of or realization of human rights, economic development, and reconciliation in different parts of the world. It was, what is propagated by United Nations organization just politically. So political peace requires just addressing structural violences such as poverty, inequality, injustice, political marginalization, because there are certain groups of people or parties in a given country those who are highly marginalized from the mainstream political structure. So just answering all these questions are the attention of politics in peace. And then again, when we look at what peace is in military, yes, from a military perspective, peace is often as a result of deterrence, which is preventing wars through strength and a kind of a balance of power or maintaining stability among states. So peace can be seen this way. So peace is a multidisciplinary concept in terms of religion, or religious peace can be just inner and spiritual harmony. Philosophically, we can see rational justice and moral order, and then political peace is about institutional stability and rights. Military is about strategic deterrence. So true and sustainable peace requires integrating inner transformation and social justice and institutional accountability. So peace can be described as a state of mutual harmony between people or groups, especially in personal and group relations, the relations that we have with individuals and within that group or society or the community. So it is an agreement between individuals and the groups to end their hostilities and just abstain from further fighting or antagonism. So peace is a multidimensional concept that can be discussed with various types, such as personal peace. Okay, so personal peace is something very important. This is very foundational whenever we talk about peace. Unless people have personal peace, the community cannot have peace, and then the nation cannot have peace, and the globe cannot have peace. So personal peace is something very important. Whenever we talk about personal peace, we are just talking about inner calmness, emotional stability of that individual. Again, peace can be seen as a social peace, which is the presence or prevalence of harmony within a given community. So if there is no a caste system, if there is no inferiority and superiority complex within that community, we can have a kind of harmony within the community, and that is simply the prevalence of social peace. And then national peace, stability within a country, when political disagreements and different problems that can arise between different groups of society or political interest is addressed through peaceful manner, we can say that there is a national peace at the national level. And then international peace among states. How states are trying to deal their issues. Are they trying to solve their problem coming to the round table, or are they trying to solve their problem through force or through military power? That matters. And the other point I want to focus on is just inner peace and outer peace, again, positive and negative peace, because this is the point that I want to focus on. Now let's see, inner peace and external peace, or inner peace and outer peace. Let me ask you a question, and then you will just tell me at the end. And what is the difference between internal peace and external peace? Okay, can you jot down something that comes to your mind regarding what internal peace and external peace? Okay, so let's see what internal peace is first. Internal peace is also just called as inner peace, which is to say peace of mind. As whenever we talk about internal peace, we are just talking about the internal or just peace of mind of an individual. It is the calm and the stability we feel within ourselves. So it exists when we are free from worry, when we are free from anxiety, when we are free from hatred, greed, and other negative thoughts. If somebody or if an individual have this kind of ill wills, that person has no internal peace, because there is a worry within that person. There is anxiety within that person. There is hatred with that person. There is a kind of greed and other negative thoughts. So we can never say that that person has, internal peace. So it is peace inside the heart and inside the mind of each and every individual. So internal peace is, something foundational for other peace, because a person who is disturbed inside, can easily create conflict outside. That is why we need to focus on just internal peace. Each individual should have internal peace as much as possible. So this is all about what we mean by internal peace. And when I come to external peace is a kind of peace in the society, peace in the country, and a kind of peace in the world. It means, living together without war, without violence, without injustice or fear. So it includes harmony, equality, respect for human rights and security and social justice. So when there are these things are prevailed, we can say that there is a kind of external peace. So in short, external peace is not only the absence of conflict, but also about the presence of fairness, cooperation, and mutual respect in a given society. So this is how internal peace and external peace can be seen. And then when it comes to negative and positive peace, again, I do have a question that you are going to reflect on later. Which type of peace is more sustainable and why? From these two types of peace, which is from negative peace and from positive peace, which one do you think is more sustainable and why? Now, to begin with the first one, that is negative peace. Negative peace is just to say absence of direct violence or direct war. When there is no direct confrontation, when there is no direct war between two individuals or between two society, two states, we can say that there is a kind of negative peace. So it simply means that there is no armed conflict, or there is no as such manifested fighting or visible bloodshed between two groups or two parties, but there is a problem. There is a problem which should be solved. That is why we say here negative peace. Relatively, there is a peace, but that is not a kind of absolute or a better or lasting peace there. That's why it's negative. For example, when two countries are not at war, but we can say that they have negative. They are not at war, but there might be a kind of diplomatic tension between the two nations. Then we can say there is a negative peace between the two nations. So negative peace does not necessarily mean that everything is good or fair in that society. Rather, people may still suffer from injustice. Okay. In the environment where there is negative peace, we can say that there is a kind of structural violence. If there is a structural violence, even if there is no direct confrontation between individuals or groups, we can say that there is a problem. There is a kind of conflict in that society, and that is negative peace. So when people still suffer from injustice, poverty, discrimination, or oppression, we can say that there is a peace, but what type of peace is it? It's a kind of negative peace, because there are certain things that should be addressed or respond on the part of the stakeholders. So in negative peace, there are, a tension beneath the surface. There is a tension beneath the surface, even though there is no open conflict. When a conducive condition is created, when a fertile condition is created, yes, it's gonna be erupted because a tension was there under the surface. And then when it gets a better situation, fertile condition is going to be happen. Conflict, direct confrontation is going to be happen. That's why we say negative peace. So therefore, negative peace is important, but it's only the first step towards more complete and lasting peace. When I come to the last part of my presentation, that is positive peace. Positive peace goes beyond the absence of war. It's not limited to the absence of war, as in the case of the negative peace, but it goes beyond the absence of war. It is the presence of, instead of just talking about absence, something like that, here in positive peace, what comes to our mind is it is the matter of presence. It is the matter of prevalence of something positive instead of absence of something negative. So it is the presence of justice. When justice is realized in a given political system, we can say that there is a positive peace in that nation or in that society. So presence or prevalence of justice is something very vital in positive peace. The other one is equality. When equal opportunity is given to each and every individual in that nation, in that country, in that community, we can say that there is a kind of positive peace. And the other one is respect for human rights. So if everybody is counted as equal before the law, regardless of any either economic, social, political, or whatever background is, yes, and if the human right is respected, fully respected, we can say that there is positive peace. And the presence of social harmony is the indicator of the presence or prevalence of positive peace in a given nation or countries. So positive peace exists when people have equal opportunities, yes, regardless of our personal differences. The issue of equality and equity, or the issue of equality and fairness. Sometimes equality is not something suffice to respond to the question of the society, because equality is a matter of providing equal opportunity for everyone. But sometimes equality cannot respond to the question of, to individual interest, individual need of each individual. So what has to be done at that time is that instead of just focusing only on equality, it's very important to focus on equity. Equity is nothing but it is about trying to help or treat people according to their personal differences. So it is a matter of just providing such equal opportunities, and where laws are fair, yes, if there is no any segregation in terms of laws, and if laws looks at everyone fairly and equally, if there is no any discrimination based on laws and an institution, we can say that there is a kind of positive peace, because this is the absence of structural violence. And then when everyone feels respected and valued in a given society, it's possible to say there is positive peace. So positive peace is just, it is a matter of freedom from structural violence. Yes, structure. It's not only about absence of direct confrontation, but about some structural violence should be should be settled. And then if so, we can say that there is positive peace. If there is no poverty, especially, if there is no a kind of absolute poverty in a given society, we can say or talk about positive peace. If there is no discrimination between different groups, we can say or talk about positive peace. And if unemployment rate is meaningfully reduced, and we can say that there is a kind of positive peace in that society. If there is no a kind of relationship between oppressor and oppressed, or if there is no oppression in terms of the political leadership in that country, we can say that there is a positive peace. So in a society with positive peace, yeah, people do not just avoid fighting, but they cooperate, they support one another and work together for the common good. And that is the presence of, a positive environment in general. So negative peace is simply about absence of war or direct violence, whereas, positive peace is about presence of tranquility and harmony, well-being, strengthening human bonds and shared human values and shared feelings of humanity and etc. are the indicators or characteristics of positive peace. And negative peace is simply absence of war or direct violence, absence of fear, repression, evil, and something like that. So in short, negative peace is the absence of violence, but positive peace is the presence of justice and harmony. And so for true and lasting peace, we must aim not only to stop war, but also to build a just and inclusive society. Having that kind of society is something very, very vital. So peace is not only the absence of the absence of war. And true peace requires justice. Unless we realize the prevalence of justice in a given political system, it is really impossible to talk about lasting and true peace. And again, peace requires equality, dialogue. There is a difference. We do have different political interests, historical interests, and etc. So we need to have a dialogue, and the way we try to settle our problems or disagreement must be through a civilized manner, through discussion. It should be through roundtable discussion instead of using gun and something like that. And then, as educated individuals, we have a responsibility to promote peaceful coexistence in our communities. So this is just to make the long story short. This is how peace can be seen. Yes, peace can be understood in different contexts by different individuals, by different piece of studies. Field of studies, and then religious wise, we have tried to touch upon how peace can be discussed. It is a matter of having, reconciliation with God, and then having harmony with God and other fellow human society, and then politically, philosophically, and then militarily, we have tried to see what we mean by peace. And finally, we have also touched upon different types of peace, such as internal and external peace. And then finally, we have seen negative and just that of positive peace. And thanks for your attention, but let me just ask you a question at the end of this session. And then the first question that I'm going to ask you is, can you please tell me, what you have learned about peace? What new idea did you learn today about peace? What new idea did you learn today about peace? You can say anything that comes to your mind concerning the new lesson you have got from this discussion. And the second question that I do have for you is, how is positive peace more difficult to achieve than negative peace? Why is positive peace is more difficult? Because there is, a concept that, positive peace is not something easy. Rather, it is relatively difficult. So why positive peace is more difficult to achieve than that of the negative peace? Because we have seen the difference between the two. And then, how can you personally contribute to national peace building efforts? We know what is going on in Ethiopia, in our country, especially, of course. Let me focus on Ethiopia. So how can you personally contribute to national peace building efforts or process? You know what is going on in Ethiopia, and then this is the question that I do have for you. And I want to say thank you for your attention, your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are you going to reply, Kasaye? Are you going to answer his questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Christina, and Abdel. Thank you very much for your good presentation. I have got a lot of lessons from this peace presentation. Especially, there is no war means there is no war means there is peace, because no war means there is peace, because as he told us, for example, no war, but there is no peace in our country, for example. For example, in our mind, for example, no war, but in our mind, no peace. If there is no peace in our mind, there is a war in our mind. Especially, so this is good idea. The other is about, I've got a good lesson from this presentation is positive and negative peace. Negative peace. I have a question for him, another question, but positive pieces, social justice, equality, good relationship with people, good relationship with the countries, especially as we look at in our world, no positive peace in this time. No positive peace in this time. Because countries are quarreling each other, fighting each other. People are in Ethiopia, in somewhere else, are fighting each other. Someone is killing the other killing the other, based on for religious, in terms of religious, in terms of nations, in terms of different reasons. People are fighting each other. Especially in this world, I can say that no positive peace, because it is difficult to achieve positive peace rather than negative peace. If people are quarreled in no justice, no equality, this time I think if related to the gender, no equality.
Sorry for interrupting. So can you please react on question number 2? So you are saying that it's difficult to have or achieve positive peace, and so the question is why it is difficult to achieve positive peace.
Yes, it is difficult because no peace. This time, positive peace means what? Social justice, equality, good relationship with people, good relationship with the country, so on and so forth. So if there is good relationship, if there is equality, so on and so forth, there is what? Positive peace. In this world, no social justice. For example, one powerful nation suppressing what? Not powerful nation. Powerful person suppressing the unpowerful person. So men suppressing women. So in this case, no positive peace. I can say that no positive peace. For example, in football field, for example, let us take as an example in football, in La Liga, in Spain La Liga, in British Premier League, for example, white men insult us, for example, black men. Look, white men insult us, black men. If they are insulting black men, this is racism. If this kind of thing is happening in this world, so no positive peace. Can you say that there is positive peace in football field? Do the men, black and white, respect the black football players? Do you think that the white players respect the black players? Do they play freely? Is there any fair play in this world? For example, let us take as an example a football field. Simple example. For example, they are freely playing football. So white football players insulting was the black football players. Something happened in La Liga, in Spain La Liga, for example. So in this kind of inequality, if there is no social justice, if there is no good relationship in football field, in the country, in the town, in the city, so there is no positive peace. It is difficult to achieve positive peace in this world, I think. So it's very, very difficult. For example, look, what is happening, for example, America, Iran, Israel, and the like. What is happening right now? America is eating, for example, Iran this time. So it's a powerful nation, for example, the powerful suppressing what? The not powerful nations. Can you say this? Is there any positive peace in this world? I can say totally no positive peace. No positive peace. It is difficult to achieve this positive peace. So difficult to achieve positive peace because no social justice, no equality, So there is inequality, so on and so forth. It is difficult to achieve this positive peace. This is my point of view.
Thank you very much, Kasai.
May I reply to some of the questions?
Welcome. Welcome.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Sanyi, did you hear any of the presentation?
Hello.
Hey, we hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, thank you. Now the network is working. Before I was using PC. PC is not working without broadband. Now Wi-Fi started to work.
Okay.
Hello.
Did you hear? Hey, Sanyi, did you hear any of Abidale's presentation?
I didn't hear anything. I was just running to fix my mobile. Now it is restored. And if you have any question I can react to, you can say. I didn't hear presentation of Mr. Abdel. Sorry for missing it.
Okay, if so, no, I think Christina is going to react on the given question. I mean, the post discussion. I mean, post presentation. There was kind of post presentation questions. So Kasai has already reacted, and so now Christina is going to say something on the questions. Then please go on.
Yes, and also I am recording this, so I can post this for Sanyi to watch later. So I think the first question was, what did I learn? I learned about the concept of negative versus positive peace. I'd never considered this before. So that's interesting. And then related to that, you asked, why is positive peace more difficult than negative peace? And I made some notes. When you were discussing positive versus negative peace, it reminded me of when Jesus said, if you wash the inside of the cup, the outside will be clean also. And so I think it is similar to this, where with positive peace, you mentioned positive peace is foundational. So if you have positive peace, it's foundational and it will build. It is a building peace, whereas negative peace is a sustaining the status quo peace. So if you are simply trying to maintain the status quo, you're constantly battling from the external. It's an external fight, constantly just trying to stay afloat. The positive peace requires something to lay down. For example, in a situation with positive peace, if I'm in a situation where I see other people in harmony, if I don't have peace inside of me, I might see those people and think, I can get something from them. I can take advantage of them. I can be opportunistic. I can steal. I can manipulate. And so if everybody is not also willing to be sacrificial or selfless rather than selfish, then your peace is very quickly destabilized. And you go back to the negative piece where you're trying to maintain a status quo rather than build up. So I feel like the difficulty with positive peace, everybody in the society must agree to want to be in that state of peace. Because one negative actor could come in and destroy it all. This is how I see it.
That's great, really. That's great. Okay. This is very important point. You know, when we talk about negative peace, we are simply just talking about absence of direct conflict or direct confrontation. And so, for instance, if you take my country, Ethiopia, now this time, in where I'm just living in Jimma, there is no direct confrontation. There is no shooting, there's no voice of gun and something like that. But there is no positive peace. I mean, there is no peace. What type of peace? There is no positive. Relatively speaking, because of absence of direct confrontation, we can say that there is peace and there is no direct confrontation. But in terms of the concept of positive peace, we don't have strong institutions. As we have tried to say last time, there is a kind of exaggerated income inequality among nations, among individuals. Yes, income inequality is something natural. That's normal. I don't have a problem with that because it is impossible to make everybody to earn equal amount of money monthly or daily or annually. Yeah, that is natural. But when we look at the income inequality between individuals, what I'm living is that there is a kind of exaggeration. It's highly exaggerated. Some are just living highly developed nations, life standard of highly developed nations, and some other are just crying for daily bread. Then this is the presence of structural violence. Because there is here a kind of absolute poverty. Some or majority of the people are struggling with their daily bread, and while others are just enjoying the other world lifestyle. So such a reality is the indicator that there is no positive peace, because structurally there is violence. Structurally there is an exaggerated income inequality between and among the citizens of this country. So the issue of positive peace is a matter of fighting against institutional partiality, such exaggerated income inequality between citizens, and it is a matter of presence or prevalence of democratic institutions. And when there are no group of people, those who are not politically marginalized, if there are a group of people who are politically marginalized from the mainstream politics, that is something, the problem. There is a marginalization. There are a group of people who are oppressing and who are oppressed. In such situation, we can never ever talk about the presence of positive peace. That is why we say positive peace is something very comprehensive, and then it is something that we all want to realize in a given society. And if there are no such democratic environment, if there are no such a fair environment, we cannot have positive peace, but yes, we can have relatively negative peace, and because since negative peace is simply absence of direct confrontation. And Sanyi, do you have something to say based on what you have heard now? What is peace for you?
Peace.
Yes.
For me, peace is everything. In my context, it may be different from others, how others understand. But for me, peace is for a basic need. Also, scholars categorize it under as a safety or as a second need for human beings. I categorize that it is a biological need, because if there is no peace, and a person who live in area where there is peace, a great chance to lose his life. So peace is everything. It can be mental, it can be physical. Physically, you may be feel not good, or you may be unrest psychologically, physically, in everything. So peace cannot be defined in a single word or in a single sentence. It are many things. It is because without peace there is nothing. You cannot do, you cannot walk, you cannot act, and you cannot fulfill your need without peace. So absence of peace is absence of everything for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, okay. I think. Okay, Christina. Do you have something to say, or is there anyone who will react on which type of peace is more sustainable and why? Of course, we have said it in one or the other way, but which type of peace is more sustainable and why? Meaning, from peace, from negative and positive peace, which one do you think is more sustainable and why?
Well, the word sustainable, as you know, we discussed in a previous meeting. So sustainable means it can sustain itself. So I would definitely say the positive piece is more sustainable because it builds upon itself. It is more difficult, but it is more sustainable. Whereas the negative piece, it's really not building, in my opinion. It's just status quo. So I would think the positive is more sustainable. However, it is also more difficult to achieve. That's what I would say.
Great. What about Kasai?
Okay, I think that in my mind, can you say that there is peace in this world? There is peace. There is positive peace. For example, as I said earlier. For example, there is inequality in terms of gender, in terms of religion.
Kasai, sorry for interruption. Have you got the question? Which type of peace is more sustainable and why?
Right. It is, if there is a peace, positive peace, it is positive peace is sustainable than negative peace. It is sustainable because it is positive peace means it is equality, social justice, good relationship between people, among the countries, so on and so forth. So positive peace is what is sustainable than negative peace. This is unquestionable because it is good. If there is equality, if there is everything, for example, if there is social justice, everything is good for the human being, everything gets for them, everything as equal. There is impartiality, so on and so forth. That is positive peace is sustainable than negative peace.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
My question is, I am afraid of the positive peace in this world. I am afraid of this one because it's difficult. For example, in different angles, when you look at in different angles, to achieve this positive peace. Yes, in terms of
if we got the chance to present again, we will try to see the analysis of the presence of peace across the globe and why absence of peace and something be discussed in the future. In case. Anyhow, that's all for today. You can say whatever you want and then conclude the session.
Yeah, I have a couple things to say really quickly. I hope maybe we'll have time either via email or next week to discuss the last question that was, I think, most important that you asked, which was, what are we doing to promote peace in the nation?
Very good.
Because we didn't have time to we didn't have time to discuss that one. I think that's really important. The other quick question I have, not related specifically, is Kasai, were you going to be prepared next week to do a presentation?
Okay, can I present next week?
Yeah, will you be prepared next week?
Okay. Technology integrated teaching learning methods. I'm going to present technology integrated teaching learning method. Technology integrated
learning method. Okay, I will put that in the notes in the email that is what you'll be talking about.
Yes, about technology, because this time it is a 21st century. So not only talk and talk, so we must use technology to improve our students' learning skills and to improve our students' language skills and knowledge skills. So the teachers must use technology.
As long as you can convince the university or the college to turn your internet on.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, I will put that in the email. We have 4 or 5 minutes left. I don't think we'll have a sufficient time to fully discuss the last question. But Abidel, I will let you finish up. Then at 7 at my time. At my time, 8:30, we'll end the meeting. So anything else you guys want to say? I really enjoyed the presentation. And I'm going to be sharing this. I'll be putting it on like a YouTube link to share with the group so they can watch it as well.
Okay.
Sanyu, have you heard the question?
Are you asking Sunny? Sunny disappeared.
Okay, okay. That is it.
Something
That is
happened
it.
to Sai. I think no internet connection, I think.
Okay.
No
Okay.
internet connection.
So next week, I think next week before Kasai's presentation, we are going to say a little bit about how each person personally contribute to the national peace building efforts.
I think that's a great idea.
So
And-
maybe Krista, before my presentation, so Abdel will present something about the conclusion of his presentation.
For a few minutes, just to answer the last question, and maybe everybody
Okay.
will get a chance to reply. But yes, we will still start about the same time. You should have plenty of time to present, and hopefully everybody will be able to join us next week.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too,
Okay,
you
bye-bye.
guys. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.